All right. Record button hit.
Good.
Doing things in the right order has never stopped you before.
True.
Well,
I
no.
freely admit that.
Okay, well then get on it.
We're on it. We are live, sort of. Not really. We're recording. Never mind. Welcome to Everyone Racers, a show designed for the world of low-dollar racing and oddball car culture. It doesn't matter what kind of Lemma Champ or Lucky Track Dog League you run, SCC or NASA, we won't discriminate, as long as you drive it hard and built it yourself. Join us each week for tech discussions, tips, tricks, news, and notes in the world of amateur endurance racing, whether it's on the spot, hella sweet, or we're lucky enough and Mental is at a show? Are we on a show?
Oh,
Yeah, I'm DJing. I'm DJ E1R.
Everyone report to the paddock.
This is Chris.
this is Chrissy.
I'm Jeff.
And I'm Mental.
And we are Everyone Racers. Thank you for coming back and listening to a Holden episode of our podcast. The 48-215 was the first model from General Motors in Australia to bear the Holden name. Originally designed in the US by Chevrolet, it was deemed too small for the US market. It would be also be modified into a utility vehicle or a ute. They're so cute. The ute. The 132 cubic inch cast iron 6 made 60 horses and was equipped with a three-speed manual. If you're not driving a ute, which you probably aren't, a ute Holden's 3-speed or any other combination of a vehicle, get your bingo card out because you never know what we're gonna say. What you working on? Let's jump right in, Jeff.
If only they made like small pickups that were like on car body frames and sold them in America. That would be fantastic.
Some
That'd be
sort
like
of like if like they had like a storage compartment under the cargo area. Of
exactly.
The truck.
And they were like affordable for everybody. Anyway, we'll get to that in just a few minutes. What have I been working on? Subaru wheel bearings. Thanks to the Hack Factory. Oh my God, I'm blanking on his name. Brian, thank you, Brian from the Hack Factory. Gave me the wonderful tip of where to bang out the Subaru wheel bearings. I actually was able to accomplish it on the morning of Halloween and make it in time to trick or treat with my kid.
What?
So that was pretty exciting.
You got stuff done.
I got
And
stuff
you've
done.
completed a project.
Completed a project, and my wife cannot be happier. She's like, "Oh my God, I forgot what smooth was like."
Oh, that's great.
Because they were really loud. I also cleaned out two people's stuff. My aunt who passed away, I helped clean her apartment. And then I got a panicked phone call from Steve, the doctor, who many of you may or may not know, and said, "Dude, the loading truck is here. My parents in the last 6 months have not packed anything. Can you come help me move all of their stuff?"
And I said, "Well, you feel like doing?"
I get out of work in about an hour, be there in an hour and 45 minutes. And
2 hours later.
2 hours, exactly. But I did manage to score something for Mental. Well, not for Mental, but something for Mental to check out.
Yes.
A picture of the USS New Jersey in the Navy Yard and some potential future Lemons bribes. The Chilton for 1981 and 82 K car. Also Datsun 510 and a couple of other really cool Chilton manuals. So
Nice.
that's what's going on.
Do you need more crap around
Excellent.
your house?
Well, they're all going to be distributed.
It's transient crap.
Transient
is.
crap, exactly.
Got it. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, so
The lies we tell ourselves.
should we save Mental to the last because he has the most exciting things to say and go
No,
right to
no,
Chris?
because we'll get to it. I
go
also
ahead,
was
Mental.
working. Yeah, I was also working on a car Halloween day and did not fix it. I detailed the fuel pump on the Porsche. I think it vapor locked and left me stranded. Put that on the Instagram. Had the replacement. Went to go install the replacement, and somewhere in the sins of the past, the owner had cut through the hard lines, which have the specialized fittings for the pressurized fuel filter and pressurized fuel pump on a Porsche 928. So $350 later, I'm waiting on parts for that, which is, twice as much as the pump and the filter. So it's sitting in my driveway. So I was not doing that. We did still make it out Saturday night for Halloween. If you also watch the Judgmental Facebook and Judgmental Instagrams, Vicky came up with an amazing. Oh wow! I don't know what you're doing there, Jeff. But
that was exciting.
I'm this
Sorry, I
big.
pushed a button. Keep going.
Vicky came up with an amazing Price is Right costume.
It was
So we
so
did that.
cool.
It was great.
It was
The
really
Price is Right
good.
costume was excellent.
And of course, as Jeff mentioned, and let's do this because my lovely bride just brought me a beer because Mary Wright, you don't have to ever do it again. But I, for those watching on YouTube, am here in the Racing Junk booth, SEMA. So
You're going
right
too
here is the
fast.
hard, good-looking Racing Junk. There we go. All right. So that's Ian and also Scott, who were disappointed when I texted them that I'm actually not Christine. So
You're not. Nope.
we've got some
No.
cool stuff to talk about with Racing Junk. We'll get more to that later. Chris, you actually did race car stuff.
I know somebody's got to do race car stuff. Winterized the Mazda, which is exciting, but has to get done. Really, it's just a once over, and found that the left rear brake caliper was one of the guide pins was coming apart, the rubber bushings for the guide pin. So replaced that with a caliper that I've had in the basement for probably 8 years. Put that on, redid the alignment to fix what was previously done, and got that spot on now, which is good. Winter wheels, so Mazda's ready to go. Swapped the grille in the Mercedes, and have been fighting with computers and modules and things like that to get the vertical angle of the forward radar sensor to be happy, so that the cruise control stuff will all work. Yes, Jeff?
Why did you swap the grill of the Mercedes? What was wrong with it?
Because someone had backed into it at some point
Oh.
and had knocked it all out of its housing. And so if I had to take it all apart to put it all back together, which is what I had to do, I wanted to put the E43 style grill in because it looks cooler. So that went in.
And then you had to buy the knockoff software to hack into that system.
Don't
That
get us started on the
Well, we already
knockoff
did, and I've kind of figured out the
software.
software now, which is good.
That's
So it
not
only
what
took me
happened on
many hours,
a couple days
right.
ago.
many hours, many frustrations. But now I'm trying. I think I may need a new module after driving around for 2 hours last night trying to program the thing.
It's
Anyway,
really funny how he just kind of like glosses over the
Yeah.
things. You're just like, oh, it was a little
well,
frustrating.
no one wants to hear.
Nobody wants to hear that you were throwing
Uh-huh.
shit.
I didn't throw
We've
too
all-
much shit.
we've all
Yeah.
seen it. We've seen it.
Ugh.
Oil change in the Mercedes too. I found that using the fluid extractor that I bought leaves 2.5 quarts in the pan because I
Oh.
had it up in the air.
Oh, that's
I
a
said,
lot.
I said, I want to see how much it's like, because the fluid extractor sucked out 5. I was like, well, that's pretty good. Let's see what else is in the pan because the car is already up 2.5 more because German car. So yeah, not going to be using the fluid extractor for oil changes anymore, which is a shame because it's so easy because the filter's on top and the thing's
You
on
walk
top.
away.
Oh
Yeah.
well.
Nope.
The question is, did you find those 2.5 quarts by dropping the plug, or did
Yeah.
you do the math?
No, I dropped
Okay.
the plug. That's how I know for sure. There's
So
still
it's
2.5
two and a
quarts in there.
half less than dropping the plug.
Yeah.
Because
Still a
even the plug
lot.
doesn't get everything out. You know what I mean? There's
Right,
sometimes
but
where
it
there's
ge- yeah.
trap places and things.
Nope. There's 2.5 more than what the extractor got out. So
Oh, that's
Bummer.
a shame.
yeah.
Yep.
Anyway,
Okay.
Chrissy,
Yep.
why don't you
I-
tell everyone what I'm not going to ask you what you've been working on. Why don't you tell everyone
Whatever.
what you're working on?
Yes. So I was cleaning. I cleaned off the Mazda. I also did a bunch of the driving around. To make sure that the antifreeze got all the way through the system. I started driving back roads in the Mazda with old crappy tires that maybe had some air in them, and I was like, oh wait, driving a race car, but not driving a race car. You should not be driving like you're a race car driver. And then put all the winterized all the wheels, washed them all front and back, and put them all away. Put them in the basement, so they're all done. And for those on YouTube, I got my hair did. That's 3 years in the making. Cut it all off. 12.5 inches, going to a small child.
Yeah, and I know, talk about glossing over the cool stuff. So is it Locks of Love that you donated that to?
No wigs for kids.
Wigs for Kids. So
Mhm.
that's exactly what it is. Locks of Love and Wigs for Kids.
Yep.
They make wigs out of real human hair and then donate them to kids with cancer.
Mhm.
Anybody that's seen Chrissy, watched this show, it's amazing hair. My wife has done it. Dr. Florida Man's done it. It is a wonderful, absolute charity. I know Amanda's planning on doing it. Of
You can get
everything
there.
that we have done, that is
Somebody said that on
absolutely.
believe in you.
Facebook.
totally.
You're not far.
But that, I dare say, that's the coolest thing we have done. And
that's
not
very
even
nice
we.
of
That's
you.
it's just it is. It's a
agree.
small thing that is going to make a huge difference.
I hope so. I hope they take it. I read the directions about 85 million times to make sure that I've done it all right. We fixed something today just to make sure that they take it and use it because I hope they do.
And again, I know I said this on Facebook, but I am certain that somewhere a small child is suddenly going to find themselves 5 seconds faster.
Yes, good. Especially if they're running or something, because chances are they're probably not driving a race car, but maybe so. So yeah, that's what we're up to. Okay, let's move on. We've got a lot to talk about.
Already, is it news and notes time?
It is.
I'm just going to jump right into it. I'm not going to scream and yell. News and notes time.
I was going to do it here in the hall and get everybody to look at me weird.
That would be cool. Go ahead.
Yeah, we'll do it. Okay. We'll do it for listener feedback.
That's
or
true.
just a tip.
All right, Jeff, hit it.
We this is like almost like SEMA related news, but we've covered the right to repair in Massachusetts and the scare tactics and the phony baloney TV ads that the manufacturers were running just to stop you from working on your own car. But the Massachusetts voters, as we also covered previously, mandated the automakers make their telematics data available and accessible by third-party repair shops. The OEMs claim that this is not possible and they're going to stalk you and blah, 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 blah. However, Steve De Silva at Jalopnik is reporting that Subaru seems to have found a way to comply very easily, and that's simply they are turning off all of the onboard Starlink telematics data systems for every car delivered in Massachusetts.
Wow.
Yeah, so Steve does a great job of explaining it, and we'll link it, and I'll summarize real quick here. But the vehicle telematics data is information recorded by the car and then wirelessly transmitted to the manufacturer, dealers, like, hey, time for an oil change. Ideally, cars are reporting things about faults and malfunctions, and a technician can run the diagnostics without you actually being there to fix the problem. The catch is only authorized dealers can read it, which is what the whole lawsuit was about, which means you have to take your car to the dealer and pay the premium, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. New car makers are refusing to open up the data to the third-party repair shops, even though, as we said, it is now required in the state of Massachusetts. Basically, Subaru, is summed up by Steve, is Subaru has technically followed the letter of the law since the vehicles delivered in Massachusetts no longer have a telematics data system that needs to be opened up. They are certainly disobeying the spirit of the law. Rather than making the repairs simpler for owners and independent shops, Subaru has just made it harder for their own dealers. It's an immature move, and it does technically level the playing field by bringing it down rather than improving things for everyone. That is the direct quote from Steve. Jeff's direct quote is, F you, Subaru. There you go.
Oh, you don't live in Massachusetts.
I concur.
I don't live in Massachusetts.
So not directly,
But it's kind of a dick move. Come on.
It's kind of a dick move, yes. Also, F you Hyundai for not allowing me to transfer my telematics system to me. That still is owned by somebody else, and nothing I do convinces them I currently own my Hyundai. So screw telematics in general.
Apparently so. Okay, more on bad news. Jalopnik Eric Schilling has warned us about the sub $220,000 car is quickly a dying breed. His quote last year's article he quotes last year's article from Bradley Brownell listing the 17 cars you could still buy for under 20K. Also quotes from the pay site Automotive News for dealers who traditionally welcome buyers at lower end of the market. The semiconductor shortage has made it difficult to stock vehicles that once sold below their sticker price with incentives. Think of all the radio commercials that start with, if you have a job at $99 a month. Yes. So if with the lamented chip shortage, the OEMs are focused on high profit margins, and those cars are priced well above the new cost average of $45,000. Wisely, Eric also suspects the good part of this 84-month financing widely available is more alarmingly widely accepted. With the rise of EVs, don't expect cheap cars to come back. Sad for that.
Wah wah.
Yep.
Now, if you are watching this on YouTube, you have already noticed that I am coming to you live from the Racing Junk booth here at SEMA.
But even if you're not watching on YouTube, have you subscribed to the Racing Junk newsletter? Why not? It's free, and it's something more for you to read.
Just like your favorite amateur endurance racing podcast. That's us.
Garage Heroes?
No,
What?
that's us. Us. Just listening to them on the way home going, well, that's a good episode. The Racing Junk newsletter features upcoming events, classified ads, news, and technology.
And this month, the Fine Folks of Racing Junk included a nice link to a pretty good podcast about amateur endurance racing.
Whoa!
So
Not
awesome.
Garage Heroes.
It is
We
so
are
awesome.
official.
We are official. It's large
All
and
right.
in charge.
Exactly. Head over to racingjunk.com. There is a link in our show notes. Sign up for their weekly newsletter. While you're on the site, check out those incredible classifieds,
Yes.
unless you got work to
should.
do, because you're going to be there for a while.
Yeah, or just pick one topic. This is not even what I'm supposed to say. Pick one topic and look at those cars because it's hilarious. Or browse the news and events tab to see what's happening car-wise near you. They've got national listings on everything from circle track to tracker polls.
They also have a news section which covers drag racing, IndyCar, off-road rallies, cool cars. I love the cool cars of the day or whatever they call them. There today's is a Ford Aerostar tank powered by a pair of blown 872 cubic inch Chevy motors. 2 of them.
This sounds
2 of them.
amazing.
I think that's 1,000. But I have no idea how big that is. It's huge.
It's
Math is
awesome.
hard for Jeff. Hey, don't forget the tech and how-to section with some
1,600 and something.
actual skills for you, like how to start an engine that's been sitting for a while, like some of the competitors in our next section. Yep.
Upcoming races.
Hey, we told you last week we'd have the entries for Lemon's Hell on Wheels Rally. We do. Thanks to fifth host Eric Rude for helping us fill that promise. There are 29 cars, but one already can't make it because that's what happens on Lemon's rallies. Not a single boring BMW. 2 Miatas, some Hondas, but Eric's highlighted some great stuff for us.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait. So there's a 49 Plymouth driving to California from Kansas City, which Eric says, which is absolutely insane. Even more so when you realize that he will have to return. Goodness gracious. Lemons racer and accomplished rally veteran Ed White from Bad Penny is driving all the way out from Raleigh, North Carolina. To quote Eric, if you guys don't know Ed, you should. He races an 03 Thunderbird with the super tail cage. Also, there is Jim Forbes, a 2-time winner, has procured a modern car with a slant 6 69 Dart.
That's awesome. There's a team called Team Cordoba.
Doba.
Da-da-da.
And what do they have? A 1981 Cordoba.
Da-da-da.
Yeah, obviously. There are 2 60s era Volvo wagons. We know Dean and Jackie from Sorry for Party have the Rolls Royce with that oh so choice grandmother's curtains looking interior design motif. It's amazing. Rover Souls managed to get a Rover P6, which that's the same Rover that Grover was, right? Grover
Yep.
the Rover. Yeah. Eric calls the slum version of the Rolls Royce. I don't think it's that bad.
Now, Safety Third is bringing an Elantra, and we think it actually is their race car, the Kim Jong Elantra, which is an even crazier idea than the Rover because it doesn't have a roof, and they have to cross the Sierra Nevadas twice in November.
Plus the
It
theme
had
of
a
the car.
No fail. No fail.
It
in
had
No,
a
it
roof
doesn't.
when they raced it, didn't they?
No,
No.
it has no roof. It just has a cage that sticks up in like a piece of plexi in front of the driver.
All right.
And
But it does.
the theme
But it
is
does
so
have
good.
a big block Hyundai in it.
Yeah, a 2.4 or
Two-
something,
2
right?
liter, yeah, 2.5.
Yep. The Silly Hats have a terrible Fintail Mercedes. Snail's Pace Galaxy 500 didn't move as of Monday, along with a 67 Chrysler Imperial and 2 60s Mustangs. Follow the hashtag Lemons Rally on the gram to keep up with them this weekend and see who breaks most often.
Awesome. Mental, do you want to yell recent results?
Recent results.
Champ Cars amped up duels just happened at Atlanta Motorsports Park. Saturday's overall went to Miata of Flat Out Nemesis, which is a great team name. Cheers to you guys, who just held off the 944 of Visceral Racing by 8.6 seconds. Third place car was only 14 seconds out of the lead, and that was NLS Racing Nissan 240. Freddie Mercury was 8th and first in Class D. The Ultima from Salty Crackers was 22nd. Salty Crackers. That's a good team name too. Sunday, the NLS 240 took first, less than a second over 901, and again third was 13 seconds back, and that was Visceral's 944. Freddie Mercury was 5th, winning D again, and the Ultima was 27th. So pretty consistent results there from Saturday to Sunday.
And also pretty close and together. That's pretty awesome. So that's tough racing to try to make that happen. Lucky Dogs Halloween Russ Newhouse Memorial Race at Portland saw Hull pass a lap over Purple Haze and 2 laps over Screaming Chicken Racing on Saturday. And then on Sunday, Screaming Chicken took it by 4 laps over Blue Bayou and 8 laps over Purple Haze.
And WRL's first ever 24-hour event at Sebring, also their Eastern Championship. Winner was W2W Racing. 3 laps over Pro Sport Competition and 6 laps ahead of Team ACP. All of them have awful team names. Really,
Yes.
you guys can do better. Like, come on, the Champ Car guys are making you look like fools. I mean, flat out Nemesis, Salty Crackers. Yeah, that's a better team name.
Flat out Nemesis is my favorite of the week.
Yep. Fat Cracks totally outgunned Honda Accord, looked better than most of the other competition, and actually beat 6 cars that finished, as well as 10 other cars that didn't. It's awesome considering they're almost 20 seconds off the winning pace because it's an Accord.
That's pretty amazing. All
Yeah.
And
right.
that was some of their best laps at Sebring, and they are great drivers. Yeah.
Wow. They're accomplished, longtime veterans.
Yep.
So good for them.
Listener feedback. There's so much going on this weekend. We did a lot of car work. Jeff was chasing that spooky moan on Jen's Subaru. Try. We are prepping the mighty Big Block 3 for a winter's nap, and Mental is not changing fuel pumps.
Dr. Florida Man was making dinner because, if it's not on the table and she gets home, he gets abused more.
As if there's a she. I'm sorry. Keep going. How
Well,
long does it take to make gator nuggets?
Where he was, there was a she. Bill is insisting that racing season is not over, and he was preparing for 2 more HPDEs.
Yeah, good for
A
him.
little jealous of that. I'm going to be honest with you. Scott was opening and organizing his new hella sweet rolling toolbox.
That it was.
That was
Excellent.
pretty ballin', I would say.
Bruce was working on his buddy side by sides and wintering his motorhome. All important things.
Yeah, I don't
Healing
know
his
if we
hand.
winterized. Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know if we winterizing yet, but Joseph was undoing past wiring sins on his tow pig in preparation for a Houston trip.
And Cameron was getting the stunty and sploding gear ready for MSR Houston while having an internal debate on getting a new GR86 or BRZ. Or how about an
that's a
ND
yes.
Miata?
Yeah, that's a yes.
Now, Michael K was building a frame attached to his house that is going to become a tent for his not weatherproof race cars, and then eventually a back in the swamp in Michigan or wherever it is. Yeah.
David E was getting that team's totally 100% rule compliant race car ready for Champ Car at VIR next month. It's gonna be chilly.
Excellent. Who always makes sure her race cars are 100% rule compliant.
She's also
mom.
fairly rule
Never
compliant.
failed tech ever.
No,
Yep.
she reads
Facts.
the rule book. Duh.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
We
Are we
didn't say
ready?
Hi, Chrissy's mom. We didn't
Hi.
say who was
Hello,
doing.
Chrissy's mom. All right, you know what? Hang on just 1 second here. We'll let's cheat a little bit. Could I get y'all to say hi, Chrissy's mom?
Hi, Chrissy's mom.
Thank you.
Yay.
That's our new media partners racing, John.
That's
That
fantastic.
was Ian and John.
Thanks, guys.
That's
Okay.
fantastic.
Well,
Tell Ian and John that we're going to see them at PRI, right? Mental.
Absolutely. In fact, PRI is here, and I was already talking to them. Nice.
Yay.
Awesome.
Yay. Okay. It's main topic time. It's main topic time.
Topic time.
Thank you. And we might as well just we're gonna go along with this. We'll just throw it.
Might as
Okay.
well.
Just let's go it. We're at SEMA. Does anybody not know what SEMA is? Specialty Equipment Manufacturers Association. It's,
Probably don't know what it stands for.
I guess so. In addition to being active in helping shape common sense policies for vehicle modifications and fighting oppressive regulation and overreach and everything, they host a show. Someone tell us
Yeah.
about the show.
It's every fall in Vegas. Last year's show was virtual, but the year before in 2019, we were all there. And
Yeah.
that's probably why they canceled it in 2020 because they didn't want us to come back, but they've
That's
forgotten
true.
apparently, and they let Mental in this year. So this year's schedule is conflicted and only Mental's there. So if you follow our social media, you'll get a glimpse
Oh,
of what
there's a
he's been
car.
seeing. And he's been a post tour today.
Yeah.
No
And I'm
doubt.
yeah. And hopefully the people that you're following, companies and stuff, they're all there too. SEMA highlights thousands of products and innovations, 1,300 new and iconic exhibitors. It's a place to have all the cool things, all the common trends, all the cool people. There's many race car drivers. There's education, connections. It's the place to be is really what it comes down to. And and they gave at least Mental a media pass. I'm sure they would have given us if we applied.
I recommend
Absolutely.
the new products breakfast. It is tasty and informative.
We learned about some things, but we really had a great breakfast. That's really what it comes down to. Okay, let's throw it to our correspondent.
All right, I'm gonna pin your video, Mental. So if you want to pan or anything.
Oh, okay.
pin-
Well, I was going
yeah.
to say, now, not only did SEMA give us media access, again, we're beating this dead horse, but I don't care. Racing Junk is letting me do this from their booth. And I was showing earlier, this is a hella sweet Plymouth satellite that they've got right here. All right. And the other thing that I want to talk about, head over to our Instagram, but they are giving away a 700 horsepower drop and play LS. And that's her right there. All
That'll
right.
fit in the Z.
Totally will.
Once
And
it's fixed.
yeah, it's because it's got a mild cam. You could drive that thing on the street. So they're giving that away. Head over to our Instagram. Check it out on racingjunk.com. I actually have the QR code on the gram. You can sign up and enter to win that engine. $17,000 engine. I won't give you that many penalty laps.
Because it won't matter because you're going to burn all of your fuel. Very
Yeah,
quickly.
that might not be a good idea then. Never
Yeah.
mind.
So
Oh, boy. How big is that? Is that a 6.2, a 6.0? Do you know?
Sure, it's
It's
at
a
least a 7.
Big.
408 cubic inch engine. So yeah, I think a six.
Someone else do the math. That's
Six and
6.2. I
six
think.
and six and change.
It's like
Number-
6'6", something like that.
Is
Yeah.
it that big? 6'8"?
Yeah.
All right. Wow.
Yeah. So
Cool.
All right. So let's talk about SEMA. We were there. I've watched on the gram. I'm very excited. You've already posted a couple of things that I was excited about. What do we want to start with? I heard it's a little smaller.
I have
This
one of
is-
the
Start talking
same.
about that?
this is definitely a smaller show than what we saw in 2019. And I'm not going to lie, it's better. If you guys remember, like it was constantly as we were walking between the booths, there was no space and people on top of each other when we were tired or when we had to like kind of gather ourselves, there was no place to sit. And what SEMA has actually done is used a really effective use of their space. They put benches where there weren't booths. And I'm going to just ease over here. Hopefully I don't lose connection from my phone, but you can see here the hallways, the displays are still there, but it's just so
Looks like
much.
you have like a little bit more elbow room.
It is so much nicer. And I know that the job here is networking, communication, but it's made interacting with the booths so much better. I hope this is a trend that continues. You know, they've still got outside doing the donuts and all this other kind of stuff. And there'll be a ding video of how many Broncos we saw, but I am really, really enjoying this. And my wife is here. Vicky is here as a producer and she's having a great time. She just stopped by, dropped off a beer and took up again because she's looking at stuff.
And is the difference? There's not as many, Ling Dong purple light companies or the, tire companies you've never heard of before. Like what is the difference?
So yes, in Apex, which is the show that runs concurrent, and they are primarily repair industry. They're in a completely different building, like not even in the convention center. They're over at the
Mhm.
Venetian Hotel. So I have not been a chance to go over there and see if I can find the dick ass booth. But I'm in the Racing Junk booth, so I'm fine.
Sounds good.
That's cool.
I will say this though, the SEMA app totally sucks. You're supposed to be able to like find your location, get there. The media Wi-Fi doesn't extend to all the halls. Yeah, not real happy with the SEMA app, but I'm real happy with the SEMA show.
Is it
That's a
different?
shame because the
Is
app
it
was good 2 years ago.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Right.
feel
You could
we
you
used
could
it.
like, oh, I'm here and I want to go see this booth. And it
Mhm.
would guide you. Can't make that work this time.
Interesting.
And their scanner, if you want to scan, they've got the QRs and the scan codes. That's kind of given us some fits this year too.
Hmm.
Yeah, both of those
Okay.
things we used before.
Well, tell
Yeah.
us about some cool stuff that you've seen. What has caught your eye
All right.
as you've been walking
And
around?
we
today?
should mention that we are recording this on Wednesday. So today is really only day one, right?
Day two.
Day
Start-
two. Okay.
Started on Tuesday. So yes, let's go to share screen here. And I gotta bring up, nope, that ain't gonna work. Let's go back to this. So one of the neater things that I have seen, all right, now I got to try and close this. It's not working. Early on, so I went over to the SEMA new products. Here we go. And one of the first things I saw is this. This is an electric small block Chevy. Bolts right in, bolts up to the running gear of anything that you would drop a small block Chevy into. So if you got a Tremec, you got
Makes
a
a lot of
4-speed.
sense.
Yeah, and it is a entirely self-contained drop-in EV motor for the hot rods.
It's also
But I'm
very
also-
fancy. It's very
is.
pretty colors.
They've got it kind of, for those of you who are listening on the visual, the non-visual part of the podcast, it actually looks like a motor block with heads
has
and
valve
valve
covers.
covers
It has,
and kind of shorty
it
exhaust
has too
tube
many
dumps.
exhaust runners though.
Yeah, well, then whatever. One,
And
two,
then-
three,
and then
four,
it's
five,
Six per side.
That's a V12. What do you mean?
Just
It's not
like-
too
yes.
many.
Looks
and
cool.
it's painted in hot rod colors, so it's pretty cool. I saw this on the way in and had to
Oh
take a picture of
my
that.
gosh.
Ah.
It is
So-
gorge.
Yes, one of the Optima Ultimate Streetcar challenges is the Mercedes 6.3 minivan. So
Awesome.
the
Was that
AMG.
R500?
R63. See the
R63.
big letters on the side?
No, but the body style. I mean,
It's
the-
No,
R63.
That's the way they made it. Mercedes made a couple hundred of them. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not a crazy fan of the wheels.
Oh, because
They're
R,
huge.
they're the monoblocks. They're sexy.
Yeah,
but-
hard to get actually. Very
Yeah.
sought after AMG wheels. Another thing that caught my eye, and this is really just down the hall here. Oh, there it is.
Yes.
Safari Porsche 914, almost
Nice.
exactly based on the Hot Wheels that I have one of.
Oh, that-
And that
That
looks like
is-
it has actually driven on some dirt at some point.
Well,
which
or
is
they
nice.
just went out in a
Or they
sandbox
drove those
and
tires
just
in
like
dirt and something
yeah,
else, yes.
yeah, they just went out
Yeah.
in a sandbox.
Uh,
and just
I
ran around a little
would.
bit.
We need to get the opinion of Eric, the 914 lover,
Yeah.
on that. I think let's all go around the block here. What do we think his reaction to this?
I think
Meh,
he'd be fine with it.
ooh,
He likes
yes.
Yeah,
What do you
he
think?
likes cool things.
he likes people doing something interesting with it.
He's
So that's
he's also an excitable person, so I think he'll like it.
That's true.
And the fact that they did it. I actually got a picture texted to me from one of my West Coast racing friends that saw that car being loaded onto a trailer next to a sand where they had actually gone out and spun that thing around and done a bunch of silly car stuff with it.
Was
So-
it like a kid's sandbox?
No. It was like a chunk of desert in California.
Okay.
So yeah, they and then yeah, so a bit of theater that they didn't wash it, but that's pretty cool. Now, if you are on Facebook, or not interesting, but a terrible thing that happened, Hawk Racing, they make brake pads, high performance brake pads.
I saw this.
Their transporter was on its way out here and in Oklahoma, the winds knocked their transporter over. And if you look in the picture that's on the YouTube right now, over the tail of that car, that's their Audi R8 race car that they were trying to get from the insurance company
Oh
in time
my.
to put in the SEMA show, could not do it. They also lost a 53 Corvette and a 57 Chevy Resto Mod. The word went out, and this is why gearheads are so awesome. Immediately, everybody stepped up with, hey, I've got this car, do you need it? I've got this car, do you need it? One of the Optima Ultimate Streetcar Challenges said, hey, we don't need to run it until this time. We'll put it in your booth. Jack Baruth, who's here, I had dinner with him last night from Haggerty Magazine, also offered up several cars. They had several connections. And ultimately, the Hoonigans offered up this pretty sweet Nova, which is famous. And I had to get it from this angle because it says kill all tires on the back, which, yeah. As
Is
an
that-
AMG enthusiast, I agree with that.
That's from Hooniverse, you said?
Yes, the Hoonigans.
Very nice. Okay, yes, got it.
So yeah, yeah.
I didn't hear about the trailer. What happened to it exactly? Do we know?
Literally-
Said it got blown
Blown
over in the
over.
wind in Oklahoma.
Like
absolutely
just
the-
turned
Into the
over in the
ditch.
wind.
Yes.
right onto its side, put it into a ditch.
Into a
the-
ditch.
The driver was fine. He didn't strike anybody, so there were no injuries. So, thank God for good miracles like that. But yeah, they did lose a good chunk of their display cars, and gearheads did what gearheads do. They stepped up and helped out their buddies. We talked about this previous episode, but this is the Tacozilla. which is the camper that is a throwback to the old Chinooks of the 70s. And they did the whole resto exterior on it. Obviously, it's roped off, so I couldn't get too terribly close to it. But here's some here's some inside shots they did. I think they took Chris's design styling from the Boston Whaler for the floor.
This is what it looks like. Yeah, teak floor.
I really kind of like that, especially if you're coming in from something sandy and crappy. That's a great idea. So,
Yeah, so
and,
for those of you who are not watching the visual part of the podcast, this is a Tacoma, correct?
a brand new Tacoma
Brand new
TRD crew
TRD.
Extended cab that they turned into an overland camper because it's on a 4x4 chassis.
Yeah, and they painted it in the classic orange brown Toyota livery of all of the wonderful trucks from the 70s. It's pretty fantastic.
Yes, very 70s. Last or 2 years ago when we were out here, Chrissy and Jeff had a great conversation with the folks from Sparco. Now, Sparco makes fantastic seats, but don't write off the guys over there from NRG, and they have made what I call party racing seats.
Totally.
Oh, that's
The one in the picture right above that is that Matt's
is
just
the
got to
sorry
buy
for
one
party,
right
yeah.
now. Yep.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. It is.
Oh yeah, sorry for party racing.
This is
Please
awesome.
report to the paddock and purchase the. Let me try and describe it: orange and yellow
And pink.
And
tiger
red.
stripey.
I would
Yeah.
call it Tiger King camo.
Tiger King camo. That's a good way to
Yep,
put it. Yes.
fair.
So, and I don't think Energy was there when we were there. At least we didn't see them because we only saw Sparco and then we sat in their seats and talked. We would have compared happily. Also, Sparco did not have anything that wasn't black. So it's really nice to see that somebody else is doing something other. Maybe they had like a blue one, but everything else was just.
You know who else would buy one of these is Donnie, because
Mm,
Donnie loves getting all the purple seat belts, and you know he's
So
always
this would match his leopard
color
print thong.
coordinating. Absolutely.
Yes.
Florida man Donnie, please report to the NRG website and purchase yourself a bright racing seat.
This is a much better photo than I did with the laptop. This is the engine we were just talking about, that hot rod built, massive, just 700 horsepower. But the one of the guys involved with the project is right here. He says you could drop this at your Chevelle, run down and get groceries, not worry about it, and then take it down to the drag strip and run 10 seconds.
Cool.
And it comes with everything you need. Everything that we were shopping for 2 years ago for the Z swap, it all comes with all that
Accessories,
plug
all
and
that good
play.
stuff.
Yeah, all of that was listed on there. And as Euro Trash fans, I saw this Audi Quattro, and
I dug that Quattro when I saw it on the gram.
Cool.
Oh,
and
we
what
should
it
tell
is,
people what it is. Thank you.
it is the infamous Audi Quattro coupe, and it has got the period correct mini trucking, geometric, very bright colors and paint splats all over it. It is it's
Yeah, this
it's on our
is
Insta
the
story.
Or Quattro, like the original 83 rally homologation.
Yes,
Box
big
flare,
giant
big
box
wing, yeah.
flares, wing. Yeah,
shortened wheelbase, so all of the weight was on the nose, so it would pirouette on its nose. Yes, wonderful vehicle. So that is what I've been seeing so far. It's been a great time. And yeah, so if I could do this right over, I'm trying not to go so fast to make people on YouTube nauseous, but yes,
How about your
the-
co-hosts?
yeah, or not make my
No,
co-host nauseous.
too
as well.
bad.
Okay.
But yeah, you can see the seats right there, just over this young lady's head. Those are those brightly colored seats. And then if we just ever so slightly turn, there's the Toyota where the Tacozilla was located. So
Nice.
Right.
Yeah.
Some. Oh,
So yeah,
also-
go on.
Oh, while I happened to open my phone to look something up, and I came up with all of the stories you have posted. I don't even know how many pictures on. And I'm a Facebook looker more than Insta, but there is a bajillion pictures of really awesome things. So I would suggest go check them out before they go away on the Facebook story. They're really good.
Yeah,
yes,
the stories are on the Insta and the Facebook story. We'll do some
Okay.
live listener feedback. Steph has already replied to the off-roading 914 and said, Porsche.
I'll
I'm gonna
give
give
that.
that
Yeah.
a thumbs up.
Yeah, absolutely. And then also on our Instagram, Jeff and I were really geeked about this because we're somewhat children of the 80s. And you saw the article in Jalopnik as well as Hooniverse and several other places, but the new Ford Maverick. And they hired out to Tucci Customs, who lowered it, put on those BBS rotor cooling style rims from the 80s, and then 3D printed a front spoiler as well as a roof spoiler. It looked great in pictures. It looks even better in person. This is a really cool truck. And even Vicky was okay, because she was kind of poo-pooing the idea of me going and looking at them new. She said, you know what, I can see that. That's a cool thing.
Yeah.
And
Also,
Honda is now going, what the hell? They could be doing this for years.
yeah.
Everyone says the Ridgeline that's not a truck, that's lame. But now all those same people are like, oh, look at the Maverick.
Well,
It's
well,
let's
nice."
not get excited because they have yet to sell any. They
Oh, no,
have
they've-
100,000 deposits.
They have sold. There are people that are already reviewing their Mavericks out there.
Oh, I thought they hadn't released any yet. I knew there was like 100,000 deposits for future deliveries.
there-
but I
there are
didn't think
some
they'd
that
made
have hit the road.
deliveries. Oh.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's the interesting now, what's I think also is people are telling that the Maverick is not a truck, and Ford is going, yeah, duh.
That's the idea.
So, but and I'm sure Honda is also mad at the Hyundai Santa Cruz, but yeah, that Ford is coming out there in that color. That's a factory Ford color, that grabber blue.
That's a nice color.
The car was fantastic. I read a little bit about it on the drive, I believe I was on, and they said that a lot of because there are no accessories, there are no body kits, there are no nothing, so they actually 3D printed a lot of the wing and the front lip and the lower air dams and things.
The
I thought that was
flares, the
fascinating.
fender flares,
Yeah, the fender
absolutely.
flares were all 3D printed, which is an interesting, for those of us in the grassroots world who have hand laid fiberglass over, tubes and 2x4s to remove the tubes and 2x4s later, the 3D printing world offers some interesting ways that we may be customizing our cars in the future.
Absolutely.
Without a doubt.
Now, yeah, and we talked about the grassroots world. Now, the other big topic was when we were out here in 2019. Now, that our favorite brake pad is, of course, the Ray Bestis ST43s. Every brake manufacturer out here, we have interviews with Jeff and Chrissy and Chris, where that was where every brake manufacturer had set their standard. Hawk is now introducing the ER1, which
Oh, they stole that from us, yo.
I say, yeah, I love the letters, not crazy about the arrangement, but I like it. And I got to speak with one of the representatives over at the Hawk because I was talking to him about their poor trailer. And he said, yeah, we've got it. We're ready to go. It is available in all the popular sizes. They showed me the temperature range that it operates in, and it is comparable. Now, we're still sticking with our favorite, but we are willing to test this Hawk out. So
Absolutely.
and
We have to talk with the Hawk people at PRI.
absolutely we
See
are.
if we
Mhm.
convince them. Chris, bring the bring the specs. We'll slide
Yeah.
it in there.
And what even more interesting about that is it's upped the copper content on their compound because that helps with heat dissipation. And the graphite is aligned so that the heat evaporates vertically rather than horizontally and soaking both the rotor and the caliper. So they've actually put some thought into this. And the conversation that we ended up having with the Hawk folks is this is very much like the 200 treadwear wars. Initially, there was one company making 200 treadwear tires, and then people started getting into it. And you look, every year there's a new, really good 200 treadwear endurance racing tire to the point now where they are comparable with slicks, and several sprint racers are just running the 200 treadwears because they're more predictable and they last longer and they're cheaper. And having, as much as we like our ST43s, having someone else in that market, I think is going to help out. I think that's going to improve the breed. So now hopefully the brake pad wars will start. And I don't want to see anyone get put out of business, but I think the winner in that was going to be the consumer.
Yeah, well, a lot of people have been trying to make as a good pad as good as ST43. Like Carbotech and EBC and all those people, and they have failed. So
Yeah.
Hawk in generally does some good stuff. I've had a lot of good experiences with their products in general in the last 20 years. So
yeah, and they think, unlike some niche manufacturers, they think they can do it. They think they can do it right because they are a larger manufacturer and they've got research capabilities and they've got that kind of marketing. So Hawk, we'll talk a PRA, but we need a set of those for a Honda and a Mazda.
Yep, sounds good.
And a Nissan. Yeah. So I got a question for you, Mental. Trends. We noticed that obviously you said you're digging for all the Broncos. We've seen there's more than one Maverick, right? I mean, we've seen a couple of Mavericks. I've seen a couple of Mavericks in the coverage.
Not like Supra 2019 levels of Mavericks, but yes.
Yeah. But we were surprised.
Corvette magazine.
We were surprised when we were out there how much the overlanding was really a trend that we were surprised by. There was so much overlanding stuff everywhere. So are you finding any trends? Are you finding any things that you're just like, wow, everybody's got a blank in their booth?
That is
like maybe electric. I know you've posted a lot of electric stuff.
There's a lot of electric. There are 3 different electric manufacturers, and I want to talk about one here in a minute because I think it's a name you guys will all remember. So there is, and it's not nearly being met with the animosity, not just by your traditional folks, but the type of people that attend a show like this that look like me in 10 years with longer and grayer beards are seriously looking at these electric vehicles as the next level of performance. Instant torque, everything that's great about an EV, and you're seeing battery applications and things of that nature. So there's at least 3 EV folks that have a complete thing that I've seen, and I know there's more. I just haven't been out to see all of those.
You mean
there's still a lot of
manufacturers, or do you mean like motor manufacturers?
Motor and conversion manufacturers.
Okay. And I've seen a lot of motors, but I haven't seen a whole lot of people selling any batteries. Are they still expecting us to steal a Nissan Leaf pack or a Tesla pack? Or have you seen any battery manufacturers?
And not just the batteries, but the inverters, the controller packs. Like that's the hard stuff. Like and I think that's going to be the tough part for people to do is where do you get the full package or all the bits you need aside from EV West if you have a Porsche.
Exactly. And even EV West, they sell you components, but they don't sell you a whole drop-in kit. You guys remember Matt and Nike from the Hong Nor folks, the GRM Challenge guys? They built the Super Turd and the Hong Nor, and they had the Boss Hong and all of those legendary cover photos from the Grassroots Motorsports. Well, Matt is here, and actually Mikey's here with him, and they have founded a new company called Amphere, and they, all the way out from Georgia, brought an EV-powered DeLorean. And they are now selling a complete drop-in kit, and they say everything. Visualization of your speedometer, your monitor. It's basically a touch, a modified iPad-style display for your dashboard, and a second one for your center console that gives you your braking status, your battery status, your miles, all of that. It comes with 3 self-contained liquid-cooled batteries. All you have to do is fabricate mounts, literally L brackets for wherever you're going to mount those. And the motors, you have to fabricate the axles and how they attach to your wheels. It's got the controllers, it's got the modulators. It is literally a plug and play IKEA level, bald guy with no clothes and an Allen wrench level of instruction. You don't have to be an engineer. You can actually convert anything into an EV with this kit. Now it's not cheap, but considering what you're getting and how much you would spend building one of these other component-based kits, highly competitive with the 3 battery pack, 280 horsepower, which considering you just lost your transmission and engine is quick, especially a DeLorean. And Mikey had driven that DeLorean. He said it is attention grabbing how fast that car will.
I was going to say that's about twice the PRV plant. So right? PRV was a total turd.
And being that those guys are all gearheads to begin with, they're leaning towards performance rather than efficiency, like using a Nissan Leaf, which I'm not bagging on a Leaf. I'm just saying these guys, they built it to go fast rather than be conservative. And one of their engineers graduated Georgia Tech, we started talking. I coached him when I was working at Atlanta Motorsports Park. So he's a racer right out of the gate. So he knows what he wants out of his car. Same thing we all want out of our cars. We want to go fast. So folks that are out there looking at that $50,000 in nickels that Jay promised, check out Ampere EV DeLorean. We're going to have those links in our show notes. I basically got to go home and get them and add them onto theirs. But they'll if they're not on there when you get this episode, go back and look. We'll have them on there. But they're on all the social medias, and they've got a great website. And you know, it still falls into the whole thing of support the people that do the things you like to do.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So okay, so there's
Excellent.
and you also said there's still a lot of overland, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. The big thing now is not necessarily like the hard thing is the collapsible tents on the roof of a lot of things. As we first walked in, Vicky noticed there was a cargo Dakar style truck off to the side that was a full tilt overland. And Vicky was like, oh my God, that is awesome. And of course the Tacozilla we talked about out front in the outdoor section, there's still a lot of those vehicles that have the collapsible tent roofs. One of the Ford vehicles, the truck bed of the new Ranger, is an entire slide out drawer, and that's your kitchen. You've got your sink,
the
you've got your
Rivian
oven,
had
you got
that
everything
too.
right there.
Yeah. I saw that in the
So-
Rivian video.
Mhm.
And you put your motorcycle in the back, which swings out with the tailgate, and then your tent's up on top of the vehicle.
Sounds great.
And that's a really cool thing. So
Awesome.
that's it's you're not seeing this giant presence to the point of obnoxious trends with EVs, but it is a great deal more serious. It is a great deal more accepted. And I think the right people now are being involved in the EV trend that is going to propel that hobby forward.
Cool. What about anything else exciting? So we said that we got overland, we've got a lot of Broncos. Are there a lot of Broncos? I guess that's the question.
Oh yeah.
Because
yeah.
okay. Yeah, we
Lot of-
were concerned that a lot of them didn't get delivered in time.
There's a lot of it's the Broncos and the Bronco Sports, you know, a nice mix between the two of them. And also I think we bet on the wrong horse. Corvette C8s out here, tons of Corvette C8s, including one that is in the Optima the Ultimate Car Street Car Challenge. Actually, I think more than one. And then there's a couple out here that wide body kits on them, and they're already starting to do all kinds of crazy stuff with those vets to give the new Z06 a run for its money when it's introduced.
Well, it totally makes sense because the aftermarket world for Corvettes is probably bigger than any other car out there. I mean, there's just so many. I mean, every single we make fun of Corvette culture, but mine is different than everyone else's is a very strong motivation for not only customizing, but also, you know, the custom colors and the, you know,
And-
one of
yeah.
6 of blah, 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 blah.
And
you know?
everything we make fun of for Corvettes, they're also just fast.
Well,
They're fast out of the box.
Well, and that's what I'm
Not
saying.
mine. Mine's
Yeah,
totally not
yeah, we
fast
know that,
at
but-
all.
In 1984, though, it absolutely was.
Yeah. But I mean, it covers different parts of the car culture. There's cruiser guys who own Corvettes. There's race guys who own Corvettes. There's show and shine guys who own Corvettes. There's old guys who have never owned a performance car ever in their life who own Corvettes. So, you know, it's with such a wide variety of tastes, you're going to get a wide variety of the aftermarket.
Absolutely.
Now, so we need is an overland electric Corvette C8. Then we're set, right? That's like the ultimate SEMA car.
Mhm.
You heard it here first. The first person that shows up with an Overland C8 Corvette, you owe us a quarter.
Electric power.
Speaking of odd off-road
Sounds
cars,
amazing,
the B is,
actually.
the B is for build Lamborghini Huracan manual transmission is here. I believe if I haven't thrown that up on our social media, I'm going to. That's coming. It was here. It's pretty impressive.
See the Rich Rebuilds LS swapped Tesla, right?
Yes, which they towed out here on an open trailer. Even on their social
Awesome.
media said, "Oh, all
Yeah.
you guys have your trucking companies. We towed ours out here because that's what we do." So yeah,
Hey.
that was
And I
legitimately
think Rich is
impressive.
from Florida, right? Isn't he in Florida?
Boston
Boston.
or like somewhere up in Massachusetts.
Yeah. Okay. Wow, that's
Ooh,
fantastic.
and I'm sorry, this one. I knew there was something I was forgetting. On my way to the Racing Junk booth, I caught this. This is an all-electric composite-built hot rod from Sweden.
Oh wow.
Sweden.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
we're good.
We built the V0. We're not going
By the way,
to put a
if we
roof
ever
on
did
it.
this for anything other than Sweden, we'd be like racist jerks. So
Yeah. It's hard to like, what are you, anti-Swedite? No.
yeah, exactly.
I don't know. That's like offending the Irish by doing an Irish accent. They're all like, "Yeah, well, whatever."
I'm Swedish.
me
I'm not
another drink.
offended. It's fine.
Yeah. So
I
all
got
right.
some
So,
aqua velva and lingonberry jam and
exactly.
meatballs and deep
So
fries.
okay, so
Yes.
the Rich Rebuilds LS Swap Tesla was a fantastic brown.
Mhm.
The Maverick was blue. I don't think you've seen it yet, but Freddie Tavarish's McLaren is a fantastic blue.
Haven't seen it, and he was driving it around Las Vegas to prove
Yes.
that it wasn't fake.
Yeah, well, he just finished it, so it was like his
Yeah.
first chance to drive it. Is there any like colors out there that are hot? We know that SEMA is setting the trends in the performance in the the aftermarket world. I think when we were out last time, everything was flat black that was trying to be cool, or flat gray. So is there any kind of except for the trucks, the lifted trucks were every color of the rainbow,
And they still are.
and they still are. But yeah, performance cars, is there any kind of colors that are grabbing your eye?
No, I think the world's finally returning to color, and I'm not bagging on flat black, but come on, man. When everybody's doing it, it's lame.
Well, I saw a lot of copper, just like the what was it? Whatever's in the Racing Junk booth there.
And Vicky's now up to 30,000 steps.
Oh, nice.
Heck yeah, that's great.
Chrissy says, "Good job."
That makes me so happy.
30,893.
All
Yes.
right.
30,893 for those
By
of
the
you
time
who
she
didn't
gets
hear
to
it.
the car or
They,
the Uber
they
or
actually
whatever.
they actually heard you. Yeah. Well, and this thing's going to end here in another 20 minutes, and we're just going to go over to the Westgate, have a couple beers, and let that calm down, and then catch either the shuttle bus or the monorail over back to the casino where we parked this
I
morning. and
remember trying to
the
get out
shuttle
of
bus
there.
in.
It was always
Yeah.
very
Monorail.
exciting.
Monorail.
They call it monorail because mono means one and rail means rail.
Right.
And my lovely bride, our producer, also literally just showed up with an entire bag full of stickers. So it's just,
Oh,
Everyone,
that's awesome.
everyone is 5 horsepower.
You need a
Yes.
lot of them right now. Can you just sticker the back of your Porsche and maybe that will help you?
I could sticker the entire RV right now.
Nice.
Your RV is almost
Well,
covered.
might
Yeah.
look okay.
I feel like I've dominated the questions, so I
Oh,
just want
your
to,
questions are
Chrissy,
good.
Chris, any thoughts or questions you have for the Mental and Mrs. Mental?
I'm interested to hear more about what the white boys have done with this EV conversion. That's going to be interesting to hear.
Yes, I actually had talked with him. I didn't realize he was into that sort of thing. And Mike said, "Oh yeah, I'm coming out to Vegas. You're gonna be around." And so then I went there and talked to him in his booth. It is really good. If you guys will indulge me, I've actually got the pictures. I skipped through them earlier, but we'll start here. And let me bring up I know we're starting to run out of time.
Because there's lots of old cars that people like, but they hate constantly fiddling with. So something like this
Yes.
could be a
So
solution for a lot of those.
If you look on, this is for those on YouTube, this is the interior of a DeLorean. The center console is an iPad size screen that gives you all the stats you'll need on your EV. And then the dashboard behind the wheel also has your speed and whether or not you're regenerative braking or braking. Exterior wise, the car still actually looks the same.
Yeah,
So it
looks like a DeLorean.
and behind the hood there, you can see that's the bottom tray of the water-cooled battery packs that they go in there, which are protected by a composite. It's not fiberglass, it's not carbon fiber. It is puncture resistant, so you don't have to worry about the fires and stuff like that, but also you can mount them anywhere in the car. So they're modular. And this is another view of the interior of this DeLorean. So you can see it still maintained its kind of functionality. And there it is. There's the Ampere EV and the system that they use. Here's some idiot sitting in one.
Neither of them let the
This
homeless man sit in the
homeless
car.
man, that's right.
They got him out of the bus station and said he could sit there.
Yeah.
That's
All right,
good.
now we're getting to the good pictures.
Yeah, so this is the battery pack in the back of the car. You see literally how easy this is just to plug these in. And they are water cooled. So you see those 3 things there. And then this is the third one that they put up in the frunk of the DeLorean since you.
That's interesting. They're let me try and describe these. They're about 2 foot by 2.5, 3 feet, maybe.
It's like a big briefcase.
It's like a yeah.
It is.
Very
They're
very
about 100
reminiscent of the Tesla style packs.
Yeah. They're about 180 pounds is what you told me. So you and a friend can lift these up and set them in there.
But they're also very long, wide, and flat. So you if you didn't have a frunk, if you could find a way to put them under the seats in a truck, or down where the gas tank was. I mean, that's where the weight is in a regular vehicle.
Yeah.
You could probably easily stack a couple of these underneath a vehicle.
Or you could do it vertically, like where an engine was, potentially, depending on where things are now.
Yeah. Do
flip 'em
you
up
have a picture of what their motor looks like?
I do not, because it is under everything. And
It was hidden.
They just brought the one display car. But again, if you go to the APERE website, APERE, yeah, sorry.
AMPERE. Yep.
Yes. And they've got
Like
all that.
amps.
It looks like they're still building it out from what I saw. Like I tried to go into the package builder and there's no prices or anything yet. So
Very interesting.
cool.
Yes. So yeah.
Excellent.
All right, Chrissy, we got a few more minutes. Is there anything you want to ask?
I was wondering, and I don't want to put anybody on the spot, but is there anybody you want to say hi to at Racing Junk, and they want to just tip for a
Do we
second?
want to interview any of the guys from
I mean, I
Racing
don't want to
Junk?
put anybody on the spot, and they're probably busy, but I figured you're standing there, and
Well, they said hi to Chrissy's mom.
I
which is
mean
pretty
if
great.
that's plenty,
That's
that's,
a good-
no
that's a
problem. If
good.
nobody's standing around looking for something to do, that's okay.
And
Good.
earlier today, when I was talking to Scott, he's like, seriously, talk about this engine we're giving away, because it's an impressive engine. And
Yeah.
and they're just giving this thing away. You throw a set of ugly valve covers on there, and you probably sneak that thing right through tech.
Well, the
I-
most important thing
you
is-
might recognize it though. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
As long as we bribe you with something good, then we'll be all set.
I was going to say that is not an engine designed for your average lemons race. That is designed for taking wads of cash out of your friend's hand at the local trash. Let's be honest.
That is absolutely 100% true.
Oh no, it's not got anything on there. It's just
a
an
truck
LS
motor.
swap. Just an
Yeah.
LS swap.
Well, and like all good V8s, it's naturally aspirated.
It's right. Wait a minute. Why am I saying that?
Excellent. All right, great.
So
Well,
cool. We only have about 15 minutes left of your time before they kick you out of the hall, correct?
Correct.
All right. So there will be more SEMA coverage, let's just say.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
with-
we're going to be milking this for a while.
Yeah. Mental is coming. Are you coming back tomorrow and the next day? No.
Unfortunately, no.
No. Gotta go to work.
But
stupid
Vicky,
jobs.
I know, but Vicky might actually be back, so she's going to snap pictures of things she finds interesting.
Excellent.
Oh, cool. All
Awesome.
right.
And we're so glad that you were able to go. Really, a lot. We're banking on all our days, our vacation days together in Indianapolis. So it's good that you were able to get over there.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Shall we move on?
I think so.
We can.
All right. It is. Are you going to yell at Mental or should I?
No.
We all can.
Just
the
tip.
Good.
Yep.
Good.
And
That was
there's
good.
my embarrassed wife after I did
right?
that.
She's
And
like,
Yeah.
what?
racing
Yeah.
junk guys wondering what's the matter with me.
Fantastic.
We may not be able to
Wait.
come back at PRI.
Good on
Wait till
you.
all 4 of us are there and we're all yelling it. That'll be fantastic.
All right. Here's just a quick review of putting your car away for the winter. This is
Gonna
a
unpin
kind of
Mental. Go ahead. Keep talking.
one of the things, a couple of things that we did this weekend. If you haven't, I hope you've already done this, but if you haven't done this and you're anywhere close to places that are cold, make sure you take the water out of your car and put some antifreeze in it. Double check, make sure that the bottle says either you have to put half and half in it, or if you bought half and half, but double check that before you put in it. And don't just put it in or just dump the water and put it in. You have to make sure that the whole system is flushed out. Make sure you run it long enough for the thermostat to open, and then take it around the block for a few times. Wait for a fan, whatever you might have. Make sure that the whole system has half and half of antifreeze on it. Make sure you're taking off your wheels. take off your wheels, put them on stands, and check everything. So now's the time to shake it all. Look for new metal, anything that might be different or off, or something that you just kind of patch together or put a flat part on, a crappy part on. Now's the time to replace it all. Just do it. You can afford the time now. When spring comes around and you're ready to get back on the track, you don't want to spend those weekends trying to put it all back together and get ready to go.
That's a great thought, because obviously my motor is in the RLS swapped for the 300Z is in the garage.
Yes.
Because it's not in the car.
Yes.
But the tires are
Mhm.
still under the car, so I need to move them inside also.
Please do that.
If you're cold, they're cold, Jeff.
And they're cold because it's freaking cold here. Yes, Chris, go.
It's a great time to look for weird failures. Like grab a beer, get a flashlight that's bright, and look around the car in spots you don't usually look. This is where you're going to spot like a crack in your subframe, or who knows, a cracked hub that might just break and fall off. That
Hubs
doesn't
don't
happen.
Crack.
Right.
Yes, they do.
Take your time, give it a really solid once over, because it's so much easier to source the parts and do it all now, or at least get it ready for the spring. Do it now.
Also, speaking of sourcing parts, not on my list, get some spares together. So the things that you broke this year, or something that you might have had in the trailer, I'm looking at you, Chris, that we thought we had, and then we need to put back into the spare pile because we took from the spare pile. So make sure
they arrived today, the spares that we used at New Hampshire.
Fantastic. So
They're
yeah,
here.
especially when you have a Rock Auto code or something like that, make sure you just buy all the spares and things that are just stupid things that take you off track for a little while that you don't feel like going back to the store to go get. Okay, that wasn't on my list. Put on crap wheels. So, wheels and tires, actually. We talked about this before about the importance of having a car not directly on concrete. It's going to mess up the tires, especially if it's sitting there for a while. So make sure that you're putting on those busted old summer wheels or winter wheels that aren't very good anymore. Put them on so you can not ruin anything.
Bald snow tires, things like
Bald
that.
snow
Yeah.
tires. Yep. Bald
The
summers.
tires that came with it, like you bought the car, it had wheels and tires on it. You ditch them immediately for race rubber. Go find those old wheels.
Yep.
Which is exactly what's going to go on the Z this weekend.
Good. Anything? That's my list. Anybody else have anything for quick winterizing? If you need to winterize,
Clean it.
Yeah.
Get it clean now. The whole car, inside and out.
Mother's race rubber remover.
Race rubber remover.
Favorite. We need to add that to our Amazon list because we're out. Because we used half a bottle of removing it from the car.
Yep.
But it's so satisfying.
Hashtag they should totally sponsor us.
They should totally.
And also we
Absolutely.
talked about this before, but if you're not putting it in like a good airtight thing, throw a couple of mothballs in the over the exhaust, stretch
Dryer
a nylon,
sheets too.
yeah, dryer sheets, stretch a nylon hose or something, still wool over anything where you think critters might crawl in there and
Good
start
idea.
gnawing on stuff.
That's a great idea because that's winterizing, but it's different than our winters are different than your winters. So that's a good call.
Not everyone puts them inside all winter either. So
Sure. Yep. We didn't for a
Great.
long time, and now we do.
don't have a
I've-
nasty surprise in the spring by not doing a little simple things now, basically.
Or things that you don't realize because somebody's already eaten a wiring harness that you don't realize until you go turn the car on and it doesn't work anymore.
Well, that's probably a problem. Well, and let's not forget, some people out there still have season to do.
Sure.
There is still 2 races left in the lemon season. We know that the 3 races? I thought just Texas and Atlanta. Sonoma, too.
Sonoma. Yeah.
Sonoma. I forgot about Sonoma. Absolutely.
Ours Frieza-palooza.
Yes. And Bill is still doing HPDEs, and all of you out in the South, you probably have plenty of autocrosses and things left to go. So even though we're talking about winterizing, you might not.
But if you are, you should just handle it now.
All right. Mental has exactly 8 minutes left. Should we vamp for 8 minutes and watch him get kicked out?
We can do that offline. Well, I mean, he got kicked out of the bus station he was sleeping in this morning,
Yeah.
and now he's going to get kicked out of the SEMA show where, he found that pass on the ground. So he's, this is kind of his day.
Well, and yeah, I was gonna go sleep in that DeLorean. I got kicked out of the DeLorean. There's just, there's no respect for a bearded homeless guy.
All right. Well, be less homeless next time, I guess, is the answer.
Fair enough. All
All
right.
right. Then I guess we'll wrap it up. Here comes the music somewhere. Here it is.
Any idea what we're talking about next week?
That's my line. Not at all.
I don't
But
know.
we'll be
I know when
there and we'll come up with
I'm sure
something.
there'll be more SEMA stories. I'm sure we'll talk about
There'll be some
racing,
SEMA
John.
stories. And also me, Eric, and Sajeev are going to be headed down to MSR Houston, which you just mentioned. So maybe
there you
we'll do a track walk at Houston.
Sure.
Ooh, that would be fun.
All right. Yeah, that'd be fun. I've never been
Cool.
there. Thanks for downloading us. We hope you enjoyed this week's edition of Everyone SEMA Racers. We hope you'll join us in the world of driving, racing, and building because everyone can be a racer, even you. If you enjoyed this podcast, subscribe. If you're on YouTube, you're probably getting a little woozy from how fast Mental is moving, but you can still hit the like and subscribe button. Oh, sexy Supra. Ding. See, ding. Yeah. So check out all of our social media for all the other SEMA content. If you loved us or hated us, write it right down there in the doodly doo. Check out racingjunk.com. What else do we need to say? If you want to email us, you can hit us up at everyone.racers@gmail.com. You can text Mental. He's right now at SEMA. 484-243-0455, but he's only got 7 minutes left, so by the time you hear it, he'll probably be gone. Find us on Instagram or Twitter at everyone.racers, YouTube, Facebook, everywhere, even Reddit at /E1R. Thanks again, and until next week, keep the shiny side up. Unless you're a SEMA truck, then just keep that non-existent Bluetooth drive shaft down.
Keep the shiny side down.